Welcome to Impact, where immigrants and Americans discuss America today. I'm your host, Pamela Anchang. I have an exciting show for you today with an amazing panel of immigrants and first-generation Americans. I have Muriel Naim, an Israeli Iranian, who will bring us some perspective on entertainment. I also have Honorary Consul Mame MBaye, who's a leader in her Senegalese community, who will bring us some perspectives. We also have Ms. Alex Powers, an American, who will bring us the American perspective on things and help us get some clarity. This is Impact on KPFK 90.7 FM. So welcome to the show, ladies. How are you, ma'am?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much.
Muriel.
Pretty great. Love the rain.
Wonderful. And Alex.
It is raining, and I'm okay.
Okay, so we have Miss Alex Powers, American perspective. We have Muriel Naim, who's going to be an immigrant from the Middle East. And, of course, we have Honorable Consul of Senegal, Miss MBaye. Say hello.
Hello, everyone. It's
Wonderful.
Nice to be here.
Oh, wonderful. So you tell me, today's show, as we all know, it's about the holiday season and the different celebrations that, immigrants celebrate alongside Americans. So I want to know from you, what do you do during this festive season? Let's start with, what do you celebrate in the first place? Ma'am, what do you celebrate during this season? Because there's Christmas. And tell us about your faith and what you celebrate.
Well, first of all, Senegal being I shouldn't say tolerant, because tolerant is just a feeling that you're superior. Right. Senegal is like a hugging, accepting a country where everybody, you don't even know who's who. Muslim, I'm Muslim.
Okay.
And Senegal is 90% Muslim. And we have the other 15% Catholic, Christian, and then other beliefs. And we celebrate everything together. Muslim people, you go to Senegal, you don't even realize it's a Muslim country, because even in the malls, they have Christmas decorations and selling stuff for Christmas trees and gifts and all that stuff. And people just go ahead and celebrate whatever is on and, together.
I haven't visited Senegal, but most times when you think of Senegal, you think of Muslim. So I'm really happy that you mentioned the Christian faith and Catholic in particular, right?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So during this time in the United States, do you celebrate a Muslim holiday as well during the season? Is there something going on?
Yes, we do. We just celebrated Maulud, which is the celebration of the Prophet Muhammad's birth. Mm-hmm. And then we have conferences, we have lectures, we have also festivities, just to celebrate it, and then also, invite the whole community to participate. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, we do interfaith things happening, and then festivities. So we go to mosques, we go to Jewish temples, we go to churches, and then everybody get together and celebrate together. As a matter of fact, we've done a lot of it this past week.
That's amazing, because you know what? If you're living your own cocoon, you don't know that Muslims are also celebrating something, because like you said, everywhere you go is Christmas carols.
Yes.
Muriel, tell me about your faith and, your experience.
It's nice and colorful here. So Israeli, which is obviously vastly Jewish. Actually, I'm coming from a family from both sides, rabbis of Sephardic and Ashkenaz Jews, so definitely very Jewish.
Right.
Then the experience here is different, because it kind of splits into two different things. First is the American, mostly Christian, colored experience, and then you have the Jewish experience in the U.S., which is a whole different story, and how Israelis are celebrating here. Mm-hmm. So I guess, celebrating the Jewish holidays here, interestingly, so since a lot of people are Jewish in Israel, it's kind of like an obvious thing, the holidays. It just happens, and it's less festive.
Okay.
It's obvious thing. And then here, there's all these things towards Hanukkah. Suddenly I'm like, oh, Hanukkah. It's you need to buy the things, everything becoming
Hanukkah's not even a major holiday in Judaism. It's a kind of controversial holiday. Sorry, American Jew chiming in here.
Well, that's Alex Powers. She's American here, so tell us.
Well, and before it goes back to Muriel, I also just want to say Islam is on a lunar calendar, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So is Judaism, but on a fixed lunar calendar. So, and we have an extra month that we, like almost like a leap month that we celebrate every few years to kind of keep our holidays roughly in the same season. So even though the dates change, they're roughly in the same period of time throughout the year. But with Islam, my understanding is that because there's no fixed, it's just a strictly lunar calendar, the holidays bounce around like every year. They could be completely different times of the year. They're not even really seasonal, right?
That's interesting.
And then it's interesting because, you know, in the Quran, all the prophets are mentioned. And then, you know, we respect all of them and we accept all of them. And this is the reason why, you know, Islam is a very tolerant, I mean, I shouldn't say even tolerant again, because it's no matter of being superior. It's just like all the prophets and all the religions are mentioned and acknowledged in the Quran.
Right.
So this is why it's a very open, and Islam actually is salam, coming from the word salam, which is peace.
I was just going to say.
Shalom.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, absolutely. So you know what, Muriel, you mentioned something which was really going to be my next question about the fact that you come to the United States and it's all these other additions to the celebrations. So my question really was, would you rather have a typical, based on your experience, American holiday kind of celebration, or you just want to stick with the traditional what you're used to in Israel?
Oh, no. Oh, hell no. Why do you think I'm here? No, obviously I wanted to experience something else. I went far to go close in a way, you know? Like, I went far to tell stories that are close to my heart.
Right.
So I'm very interested in, like, immersing myself in this it's very Christian-based.
Yes,
and also the holidays are very merchandise-based, which is something that I'm not used to. Like, my family is using the same menorah for the last, like, 20-something years. And here's, like, we need to buy a new one, and we need to buy a new tree also, and we need also to buy a lot of things, and they need to be fresh and also in different colors. So it's kind of like very tied to a shopping experience.
Capitalism.
It is.
Capitalism.
Well, you know what? That is true.
I am definitely interested in experiencing it here.
The American way.
It's a very different filter.
But not it's a different experience, but not in a bad way.
No, I think it's intriguing. I think it's kind of like a sense that it's Jewish people are still the minority here by far. They have to kind of like have their own communities.
And the minority, but they're a strong minority.
Oh, yeah.
They're hardworking
people.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hollywood.
Mame, our consul here, Mame from Senegal, and the Muslim faith. How is it different the way it's celebrated here compared to back home in Senegal?
Back home, you're talking about here is more open. People are going to, you know, different, like I said, interfaith festivities. But back home, it's like, you know, people go to, for instance, Muslims go like doing Eid. They go to invite their neighbors. Neighbors are invited.
Yes.
And also the young people most of the time get together to do parties, like, you know, like everyone.
Right.
And also the same thing with the Christians. When they have like a Christmas, you know, they invite their neighbors to come and attend and share the meals together and all that stuff. It's very interactive in Senegal.
Okay.
And you don't, until you say something, people would not know what religion you are from and what ethnic
You mean in
you're
Senegal?
From. In Senegal.
Now, what about here?
Here, you know, it's different because, you know, there's no partying until 6 o'clock in the morning.
You want the party?
There's no
2 a.m.
And until 2 a.m. And then also, you know, again, people just follow the culture here.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something a little sensitive. With, you know, what we've been experiencing recently with basically the prejudice, the xenophobia, some sort of that, you know, that is preceding the Muslim faith, especially here in the United States. Are you able to celebrate wholesomely, like loudly, like show that I am Muslim and I'm a great Muslim? Do you get any feeling of hesitation when you try to celebrate?
No, if you don't feel comfortable about yourself and you hesitant. But if you know that who you are, and that's, you know, there's no wrong in being a Muslim.
Absolutely.
And no wrong in being any religion. You do whatever you have to do spontaneously.
Yes. Isn't it better then actually to show that this is the image and this is the face of a Muslim, not what you're painting out there to be?
Exactly. Look at me. I wear my scarf when I go to wear my school suit, go to the court.
That's right.
Go to my meetings. I wear my things. I mean, I cover my hair because I went to Hajj.
Yes.
And then now I cover my hair because, you know, this is after you go to Hajj, you cover your hair.
So you have to cover your hair all the time now?
Yeah.
Well, you have beautiful hair. So am I not going to see your hair?
Well, you know what? That's fine because I've done it when I was not covering my hair. I've shown my hair, all kinds of hair.
Well, that's good.
But again, you know, you if you are who you are and then you respect who you are, you know, you don't have to apologize to be a Muslim or to be Christian,
whatever
or anything,
faith
faith you are. So you just be yourself.
Yes.
And then you celebrate your religion and you every day. I mean, you do what you have to do, and then also adapt other cultures. Just interfaith, like I said, it's very important to us.
That's wonderful.
The masjid that I go to, I mean, we do interfaith programs all the time.
Okay.
And then also, invite in the Consul Corps. There's a lot of Muslims, all religion.
That's true.
So we do our things together, and I invite everybody.
That's wonderful. Together. Now let me ask. We're gonna get to you, my American.
Oh, no worries.
We talk to this too because you're going to have to answer some questions on their behalf. Okay.
I have questions of my own as well.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I'm chilling. I'm good.
I feel like this is like a LA experience though. I'm wondering about
go ahead.
What you just said. Because I feel like isn't it typical as a place that's like LA, that's very open.
Yes.
And it's very liberal.
That's
it's probably
true.
like the left wing
more
spot. Super embracing, vegan friendly.
Vegan friendly.
You know what I mean?
It's not ordinary.
It's very unique.
Yes.
I'm wondering, I believe in what he's saying as well. I feel for myself the same thing, but I'm thinking like, would we say it in the Deep South?
That'd be a good question. So maybe we ought to get some responses from people in the Deep South.
Well,
I'm interested to hear from the Deep South Muslims over there to tell us,
It's just interesting to me.
It's interesting.
Well, it depends on where you go, because if you go to the Deep South or you go to wherever it is, and people, sometimes they're like fanatics.
Correct.
And sometimes they feel like, I'm going to respond to whatever is happening there. You don't have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. You just have to be yourself again. And
somebody once said, when they go low, we go
high.
Hi.
Yeah.
We know who said that. So let me ask you, ladies, what are some of your favorite additions, that you brought in? Like, do you have some things that you did back home and that now you actually, practice here in your faith?
Well, let me give you a little story. My dad, when he first visited.
And that's not, by the way, if you're listening to us, this is Impact, and that's Honorary Consul Mame, who is a Muslim from Senegal. So go ahead.
My dad, I've been living here for a long time, like 28 years.
Wow.
My dad, for the first time when he came to visit, he was kind of like hesitant. He says, I'm not staying in your country. For more than a week. I said, Dad, the ticket is so expensive. You have to at least come and enjoy yourself for at least 2 weeks. Please give us a chance. And then we convinced him to finally come. And then when he came, he says, okay, go ahead and reserve the ticket. So we did the reservation. And then when he came here, he says, I have to just tell you how amazed I was to see that you guys are still practicing more than people who are back home. Because you don't realize what your faith is until you step
That's
back.
True.
And then see what's happening. And then this is what happened, because when we were there, we were not practicing as much as we do here. So my dad was very pleased and shocked, actually, to see that we have a lot of mosques.
Yeah.
And we have, young ladies actually going to the mosque, because back home it's kind of taboo. You don't go to the mosque until you're older. But here, at very early age, you take your children, you take your family, you take everybody.
It's even more convenient also, because who's going to babysit?
Exactly. You're right.
Super interesting. I didn't even think about it, but I haven't been to a synagogue in years. When I was younger, I would go.
You have been to Senegal?
I haven't been to synagogues in years.
Okay.
And then this year in Yom Kippur, just my friend was like, hey, you kind of feel like so disconnected from Israel. Let's just go to the synagogue for this one holy day that you usually go. You usually walk there. And I was like, dude, I didn't go to the synagogue in like years. Like I disregarded it as a kid because it was so over-religious to me. I had to step away.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be forced. I would learn it myself. And I was very against just going every time, following the routine. And suddenly we went to it was a Venice synagogue that's very cool, chill, girls and guys mixed together, which is rare to me. I've never been to one. Very reform. And it was beautiful. he spoke in such a different way to me. So I kind of like saw this Judaism that I grew up on. Like it's been my roots for such a long time, and I was into biblical studies and a lot. I was really in the depth of it. But suddenly seeing it from like a very open, like liberal perspective kind of opened it up for me.
Yes.
From a whole different, like you need to go far to go close sometimes, you know.
That's true.
So I went all the way here. It's like I'm going to get away as much as I can from Israel.
So you are really loving this experience.
It's super interesting. It's kind of like reconnected me with the real core of this holy day. That's not just the prayers.
Yes.
But he was talking about liberalism.
And that's what I'm going to talk
cool.
to you ladies about for those. And now I see you're all religious, super religious. What are your thoughts about how Americans celebrate it? Is it over-commercialized, which you already mentioned, Muriel? Do you think it's over-commercialized, the season?
They're starting a month before.
So. I mean, to me, I think so because most of they're talking about celebrating Christmas, but most of these people don't even go to church.
Oh, that's right. That's so true.
Yeah, they don't go to church to pray. They don't do the rituals, and they don't do the routines.
Yes.
And I see people are rushing. They wake up 4 a.m. to go to the next day's sales.
So let me ask you: is it your observation with the Christians or the Muslims also? Is it just the Christians that you notice that?
Well, both.
It's the Jews, the Jews
Really?
too.
And the Jews too?
Yeah, the Jews too. It's true.
Trust me,
Less than the
both.
Christmas
Absolutely.
situation, because I feel like
Both.
even if you are just Jewish, you need to celebrate Christmas because if you're not, it's pretty lame.
Let me tell
then
you
you buy all
something.
this
stuff.
It's all religion probably because the world has changed. And then, you have the younger generation who's more attached to, buying stuff. And then, yes, they will be religious, but still, they do their things during the holidays.
You know what? That's a very interesting perspective. Holiday season, like you said, buying a lot of trinkets, a new menorah, a new everything.
I don't know. We're just used to made
Let's see
ourselves.
what Alex has to say. She's an American stand-up comedian, actress, and writer from Baltimore, Maryland. So tell us about your heritage and your views of the holidays.
So this is interesting, I guess, because I'm adopted. So that plays a big part into not only my identity, but the way that I perceived other people, other groups of people, other demographics growing up, because there was always this ambiguity of my own ethnic. I mean, obviously, you look at me, it's clear I've had a white experience my entire life in this country. And that's, you can't dispute that. But you're obviously looking at my hair, and I am from Baltimore. And so I grew up in a setting, I mean, though I grew up in kind of, an affluent, white, predominantly white county, I had this hair that I just could not get a hold of. And it just was
beautiful.
It was just practical for me to go to black hairstylists. And if I had a nickel for like every time, one of my stylists speculated as to my heritage, and I mean, like the times that I would be getting my hair done, and they'd be like, Nay, come here, and they would be like, you literally look like my kids whose daddy is white, and you're like,
but you are
my
Jewish.
Mixed kids have your hair. I'm partially Jewish. I'm not even fully, I'm like, I've done 23andMe, and so that ambiguity has been cleared up. But yeah, I have like some North African and Middle East. The Jewish side of me, which is about a quarter, roughly, is predominantly what she mentioned earlier, Sephardic versus like Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi Jews are Eastern European Jews. I'm not Ashkenazi at all. I'm not Eastern European whatsoever. I have no Baltic, no Greek, no Italian.
But you were raised as a Catholic.
But
right?
I was raised by a Catholic. I was adopted by a Catholic family.
So do you
and
practice
raised as
the
a
Catholic faith?
I do not, and I never did. I had an intense aversion to it my whole life. But I went to Catholic school.
Okay, that's wonderful. So I really want to give us a take on how you perceive what they've said and juxtapose that with how Americans see the holiday season in general.
Well, going back to just the most recent question, I mean, I do perceive the capitalism at play in the way that we celebrate holidays here. Like when we first started talking and you started talking to Muriel about Hanukkah, for instance, it is not a major holiday in Judaism. It's kind of a controversial holiday.
So here we just make it that valuable for...
Well, it fits nicely into capitalism. Hanukkah does.
I mean, we celebrate it in Israel pretty much, but here there's this like
it's different here.
buying
You
things
like
around
it. You
yeah,
like
it's one of my favorite holidays in Israel because it's super chill and there's a lot of like food.
So it looks like you're on your own.
You're
with
looking
that.
at me with side eye. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying that Hanukkah fits in really.
It's not an initial. It was like added on after a few
So
thousand
let me
years.
ask let me ask all three of you. Actually, start with you. Are you afraid to become too Americanized in the way you celebrate the holidays? Maybe.
No, well, I have kids who were born here.
Okay.
And sometimes they're like, Mom, can we have a Christmas tree? you know? And,
That's an interesting concept.
And the thing is, it's like, well, I don't believe in cutting off trees and then having it in there for, and then throw it away after that. So
you can get it from Walmart.
Yeah.
It can be plastic.
But no, not really. I mean, you do what you can and, it's just like it's not that important for me to just make it like in the commercial way, the way it is, to perceive it like that. So
yeah, Muriel, what
it's
do you
really
think?
Interesting because I'm not sure I'm planning to.
Because I think you're loving this American style.
I think there's something
so
very
much.
interesting about it, but it's not necessarily because of the American style. Maybe it's because of the fact that this is a minority in here,
correct,
and it causes you to kind of come back to your roots in the things you're doing, not just in the things you're feeling. And I think there's just very intriguing. Okay. I'm not sure about the Christmas fuss. It kind of freaks me out. Yes. It starts like 2 million times, like 5 months before it even starts. I'm seeing like the sound in Trader Joe's or like Christmas music.
It's very stressful.
I'm going to give the last word to Alex. And Alex, I want you to give them some wisdom about what they need to know about this whole...
What?
No, you talk so much about
Talk about what?
Yeah, tell them what you...
What do they need to know about
being in America and celebrating the holidays?
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to be funny right now. I am a comedian by trade. But real talk, we're in a pivotal moment right now as Americans where we don't know what it is to be American or what that's going to look like yet. So be you, do you, you're here.
Absolutely.
You are American. You are forming, you are shaping the future of this country and what that looks like. So please, by all means, continue to influence our country and our culture the way that immigrants always have, because that's who we are. And, as a Jew, I can just say really quickly that one of the reasons why Hitler was so afraid for America to get involved in World War II was because he was terrified of the American immigrant. He was terrified of a group of people that would risk their lives and risk dying to have a better life. So immigrants are, America.
Well said.
That's patriotism in a nutshell.
Thank you so much for helping us out, Alex. Good luck with all your amazing projects.
Thank you.
I hope she was able to bring you some much needed clarity.
Happy Hanukkah.
Do you? Happy Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Christmas as well.
Salam alaikum.
There
we go. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Impact on KPFK 90.7 FM, where immigrants and Americans discuss America in the awesome company of my guests.